This sound of the minor ninth is particularly dissonant. It's one of the most dissonant sounds in all of music. And you can hear just how kind of crunchy this sound is. But yet, this crunchy sound is exactly the opening to one of the most beautiful songs ever written for film. There are several really important musical devices at work in this song, but there's one device in particular. I call it Don't Break the Chain, which I think is the most important for us to take away and apply to our own music.
Come with me and you'll be in a world of pure imagination. Take a look and you'll see into your imagination.
Oh, that melody is just so beautiful. Ugh. We're here in the key of D flat major. And in fact, this entire melody from start to finish fits perfectly in the key of D flat major, except one note, but we'll talk about that. So the song starts out with this great motif. Hear how that A flat, it's the fifth of the key here in D flat, and it fits right at home. Now, even though this song fits so strongly here in the key of D flat, we actually don't hear a D flat chord at the beginning. The first chord we hear is E flat minor, which is the 2 chord. In fact, this A flat note that we land on is the sus4. This E flat minor is the start of a 2-5-1 with some really colorful notes in it. And that resolves us here to D flat major. Now, of course, this 2-5-1 resolves so satisfying in D flat, right? But the melody has other ideas. See, over the 2 chord, we played this, which is the suspended 4. And then over the A flat, we've now set the expectation, right? That this is the note we're going to resolve. So when we repeat the motif again a third time, he breaks that expectation. So our chords land right where we expect them to, on D flat major, but our melody note is this C natural. Now, in and of itself, this is a beautiful sound, right? But you can hear that this C really wants to go somewhere. And so this C does exactly kind of what we want it to. It resolves up to D flat, but at exactly the same time it resolves, the chord underneath it changes to E flat. And now this D flat is no longer the note that we want it to be, right? It's no longer resolved. It's now the 7th of the E flat minor chord. There's this kind of ebb and flow that's created by the melody and the harmony, who are both kind of fighting each other to resolve. Each time the melody tries to resolve, the harmony robs it of the satisfaction of resolving. And vice versa happens, right? Every time we hear the harmony that wants to go to this chord, the melody's like, I got better plans for you, man. I'm gonna take you somewhere else, right? That is what makes this song so magical. So the fight continues, but we can feel like we're on a journey, right? We hear ourselves going toward the resolution. We just landed here. Listen to the bass. That diminished chord. And here we are, we're finally on a D flat major chord. We even have the A flat in the melody. But it doesn't sound quite resolved, right? And that's because we've got this F on the bottom. We put the 3rd on the bass. So yet again, we've been robbed of the satisfaction of resolving this chord fully. So as we go back to repeat this melody, the harmony stays exactly the same. E flat minor, A flat 7 to D flat major. That's our 2-5-1. But the melody is like, fine, if you're not gonna let me resolve to the A flat, then I guess I'll go to F instead. And look what happens. We've got this beautiful E flat minor chord that now has the F on top, which is the 9th. And then we go to the A flat sus. Oh, and that F is the 13th of the chord. And you can hear it. It's going to D flat major, right? Right? That's where it wants to go. But again, the harmony is like, not today. And it plays this. Oh. So So it totally robs it of its opportunity to resolve again, right? This is a D flat diminished 7th chord. So it's got the right root note, but the chord, super dissonant. And then finally, we let it go, and it resolves. This is a trick that you can straight up steal in your own playing. Anytime you're coming to a 1 chord, right, just change it to a diminished, especially if you put that leading tone a half step below the root in it. It just begs, right? It just begs to get resolved. Oh, it's so nice. That's a trick you definitely should steal and put in your bag of tricks. So we've finally done it, right? The harmony and the melody have finally come together in agreement to resolve this. Even when we thought we were home, he puts this. That minor 9th thing is back in there again, taunting us that there's more to come.
We'll begin with a spin, traveling.
So as we go back, the melody and the chords are the same.
What we'll
Listen to the strings
will defy
until we get this.
Explanation.
We've landed here in F major. And even though this C, our melody note, fits perfectly great in the key of D flat, this F major chord does not. It's full of notes from outside the key. So if we compare the key of D flat with this new key of F, we only have 2 notes that are in common, and it just so happens that C, our melody note, is one of them. So it can kind of act as a pivot between these 2 different keys. Because of that, without even changing the melody, the harmony underneath it can completely change from this, that's D flat, to this. Hear how like bright and fresh and opening it is? It's just so beautiful. My music theory friends might call this a chromatic mediant or maybe a modal modulation, but we can let the nerds fight it over in the comments. I love you, I'll meet you down there. But as quickly as this moment happens, we very quickly move back to D flat by going to the G flat major chord.
If you want to view paradise, simply look around and view it. Anything you want to do it. Want to change the world. There's nothing to it.
I would call this the B section of the tune, and I think that it's a great example of chromatic harmony of a diatonic melody. And while that probably made all my music theory nerds' ears perk up, all it means is that our melody stays here in the key of D flat major. All of these notes, they all fit in D flat major. But the chords that we play underneath it don't always fit in D flat major. They meander around using 2-5-1s from other keys. It starts here in G flat major, and then we get a 2-5-1 in E flat. And then this E flat itself turns into a 2-5-1 back to D flat. The same one we saw earlier. Up next, we go to this G half diminished chord, which is just a fancy way of saying that it's a minor 7 chord that has a flat 5. It has a very specific function, which is to be a 2 and a 2-5-1 that goes to a minor key. So all this to say, G half diminished is going to go to C7 with a flat 9, and then we end up on F minor. And F minor is great in the key of D flat major. It's the 3rd. These 2 different ideas, the melody in D flat major, while the chords meander around a little bit more adventurously, when you put them together, you end up with melody notes that are really colorful chord extensions. Listen to how some of these sound. So nice. Listen to this one. Oh, yeah. We're wrapping up the end of the B section. We're getting ready to go back to the A section. And we play this rather cliche and kind of familiar line that we would all recognize from other songs of that era, other film music, other Broadway tunes, etc. that goes. That D natural, by the way, that's the only note in this whole melody that does not fit the key of D flat major. And it's a quick passing tone. When I'm performing this song, I like to do this little move at the end. So all that is my right hand is going up while my left hand is going down. You do them together. That's a little technique called contrary motion, but again, I need to stop feeding the nerds today.
If you want to view paradise, simply look around
listen
and
to the
view
strings.
it. Anything you want to do it. Want to change the world, there's nothing to it.
There's our ninth again.
There is no life I know to compare with pure imagination. Living there, you'll be free if you truly wish to be.
So, the instrumentation and the reharmonization that happens there in that last verse is just gorgeous, but ultimately, right? We get this F major chord again. And we finally get there, where the melody is on the root, and our chord agrees. And yet, the minor ninth continues. Oh, I just cannot get enough of this song. I mentioned earlier that it's the perfect demonstration of this concept I call don't break the chain. And all this concept means is that every moment of this song acts as both the resolution of the thing that came before it, but it also sets up tension to go somewhere else. There's only one place in this whole song where things really come together at home at the same time. Everything else is either resolving what came before or twisting it in some way to create tension for the next moment. So this is something I want you to sit down and work on your own tunes. Explore ways that you can keep from breaking the chain by creating new twists and turns and ways to keep things from resolving too strongly. And if you want some help doing that along the way, I want you to come be part of our community at Jazz Library. We have free Zoom workshops every Friday. We have a great Discord community, and we've got a members area with tons of videos that'll help you become the jazz player you've always dreamed of. You can get a link to join that down in the description. But until then, check out this next video where I show you how to apply all these same tension and release movements over a blues in the key of F.